everyone, welcome to Single and Married with Ezzy. I am excited to have you today. Thank you for joining me. My name is Ezzy Odimoko. I'm a mom, a pastor's wife, and I enjoy talking about relationships. I have authored 2 books, Relationship Smart, Love, Courtship, and Marriage for Every Woman, and Brighter Days, 100 Thoughts of Hope, Love, and Blessings. Both books are available for you on Amazon or anywhere you get your books. Today, I'm continuing on the topic, Marriage Tips for Singles, Part 2. Okay, and we were looking at the life of Esther from the book of Esther, chapter 2. We're looking at the life of Esther and a couple things that Esther did that helped her to be successful in getting married and staying married. Right? So just a brief recap. Esther was a young girl raised by her uncle Mordecai, and Esther was prepared, readied, and she eventually became the successful queen that replaced Vashti and who married the king. So we were looking at a couple of tips that she utilized that could be helpful for us today. So last time we looked at maintaining your family connections, right? We also looked at comporting yourself. We also looked at living within your means. And we also looked at, dressing well, smelling good, and overall looking good. Today, the next tip I have for you is seeking advice. When we look at Esther chapter 2, the Bible tells us there that Esther listened to the advice of Mordecai, who was her uncle, who raised her, right? Mordecai had told her, don't disclose everything about yourself right now. And she had listened, right? And so one tip that will help you is listening to advice, right? The Bible tells us in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. Don't go alone. Don't go on life's journey alone. God has placed people around you who can help you. Sometimes those could be your leaders in the church. Those could be your pastors. Those could be your home fellowship leaders. Those could be mature Christians that God has put around you. Those could be parents. Those could be good friends, right? But God has put people around you who, when you listen to the advice they will give you, that advice will help you move forward in life. So Esther was someone who listened to advice, not only from Mordecai, her uncle, but also from Haggai, the eunuch who was appointed to help her to prepare. So you can see that she was a lady who, listened to people, who sought advice, and who actually utilized the advice that was given to her to become successful. So that's going to be critical for you in your journey as you move forward. Don't go it alone. Seek godly counsel, and God will help you to be successful. Another tip I want to share with you today from Esther's life is prayer. Right? When we look through her story, and when she needed to engage the king to begin to intercede for her people, you notice that she prayed. She sought the help of her maidens, and she said, I'm going to pray, I'm going to fast, and if I perish, I perish. When it comes to marriage, both preparing for marriage and actually being in marriage, prayer is so critical. Prayer is so important because there's some things that you can do and there's some things that only God can do for you. And when you pray, what you do or what you are doing is actually inviting God into your circumstances and letting him come and take charge and be in control. So be a woman who knows how to pray. Be a woman who learns how to pray. Prayer doesn't have to be complicated. Prayer is simply talking to God. Like you talk to your friends, you talk to your parents, you talk to your best friends, right? So prayer is really just bearing your heart, sharing your heart with God, being honest, and seeking his divine help in your circumstances. The other point that I'm going to share with you today is having skills. Okay, having skills. Those skills could be culinary skills. It could be other skills. And we see these skills come into play in the life of Esther. She had an important message she needed to pass to the king, right? She did not just go, telling him, hey, this is what is happening. I need you to intervene right now. She invited him over to dinner, multiple times, right? Before she made that request. So there are certain skills you need in order to be able to, run your home and run it successfully, right? So identify what those skills are. Identify the ones that you currently have. Identify ones that you need to gain, right? And those will be important for you to begin to prep yourself and begin to hone those skills, because skills are things that stay with you for life, right? And don't look down on any skill and just say, I'm not going to learn this. Whoever I marry, they better know how to do this, right? Get to know skills that will be beneficial for you. And skills could be there's so many skills out there that you could learn, right? But start from things that are going to be necessary to maintain a healthy, happy, successful home. All right? Those are going to be important for you in order for you to be successful tomorrow. Another tip that I wanted to share with you that I saw in the life of Esther, when I talked about comporting yourself, is also not sharing too much too soon. Okay? I mentioned earlier, Mordecai had asked her to hold off on declaring who she was, right? And what that means is saying and sharing certain things at the appropriate time. Some ladies, they share important things too quickly, right? Someone meets you for the first time and, you're going home with them. You're still sleeping over at their place, right? You're telling your life story at the very first meeting, right? So similar to when I talked about comporting yourself, you need to learn, as the relationship progresses, you progress with it in terms of interactions and what you share, right? You don't share everything about yourself in one meeting, in one interaction, right? So again, holding back, comporting yourself, learning to allow the relationship to grow naturally and normally and in a healthy way. And sharing what is appropriate for the stage that you are in that relationship. Okay? And the last tip that I'm going to share with you today is seeking and obtaining God's favor. Okay, when we look and read the story of Esther, we see that it speaks a lot about Esther obtaining grace and favor. Grace and favor are things that only can come from God. We cannot manufacture grace. We cannot manufacture favor. But there are certain things that you do that will attract these amazing gifts from God into your life. When you honor your parents, when you honor God, when you live according to his word, when you seek his will in your life, you will attract grace and favor. And what that means is that just like Esther, when Esther showed up, other ladies had gone in, seen the king, but the king did not pick any one of them. But the moment Esther went in, the king loved her. And the Bible tells us she found favor and grace. That is what favor and grace will do for you. Favor and grace will make the right person see you, connect with you, love you in such a way that you will be just amazed, right? These are not things that you manufacture. These are not things that you force. Only God can give that grace that attracts another to yourself. So I hope that these few tips will help you to begin to solidify your preparation. And even if you're married right now, these tips will also continue to help you to be successful in your marriage. And I'll see you next time. Now, don't forget, I host a free marriage mentorship class every month, and I welcome you to be part of it. Follow the links that you see on the screen to subscribe and be part of it. Now, if you enjoyed what you heard and you were blessed by what you heard, don't forget to share it. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can be notified whenever I come online. And so thank you for being part of this show. Thank you, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. And